Here we are with Mark Hauser. We are on top of a skyscraper in Detroit, and he's here to talk about architecture today. Mark, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, David. Thanks.
So we are sitting in one of the architectural gems of America, Detroit, right?
Absolutely right.
Tell us, give us just a little thumbnail about what you do.
Well, I write about and talk about skyscrapers.
Mhm.
I speak to groups. I give tours in my hometown of Pittsburgh of skyscraper rooftops. And I'm the author of 2 books about skyscrapers, especially antique ones.
I think of them as old but never antique, and you are correct. We are standing on the top. What floor are we on here?
I think we're on 38 of the Guardian building. This building is more about color than it is really about the mass.
You walk in the lobby, this building is about color.
It's a box of Crayolas, or
Yeah.
I like to say it's the throne room for the queen of Legos.
What was it about the ethos, about the zeitgeist of that time that made everybody make their buildings so unique?
It's such a great question, but that was, I think, the height of creativity for skyscraper design. This brief period we call Art Deco now, that was about a decade and a half. And it really is a transition from old-fashioned Renaissance and classical styles on the outside of these buildings to really celebrating the technological advancements that they represent. And so it creates this sort of character that we still today think of as what a skyscraper is. And in fact, they kind of define our cities, right? If you think about your city, whether it be New York
The skyline.
or Pittsburgh, where I'm from, that's skyline.
Yeah.
So they are the character of the city. But America invented them. America had skyscrapers before anyone else. These are legacies, right?
Mhm.
Any skyscraper you see, there's a story of a person behind it. I think it makes a building more interesting to not just appreciate its appearance, but to know how it came to be. Who were the people? What were the personal stories behind it?
They are antiques. They are part of American history that we get to view every day.
Legacies in stone and steel, something like that.
Quickly. Thanks for being with us today on Undiscovered America. And if people want to know more about you, what you do, where can they find that out?
Well, they can find the Highrises collection at highrisescollection.com, and they can find me at hausertalks.com.
So after our conversation with Mark, I caught up with Chris Hytha, who did the art direction and photography for Highrises.
Tell me, what was the inspiration for something like that? Huge project.
Seeing skyscrapers as a young kid, you know, you're just in awe at how did they build that? What's going on in there? Like, how did that really come to be? Who designed it? All these questions. So in some ways, this project now to go and document these great old skyscrapers is fulfilling that childhood dream of trying to understand these buildings.
Because I'm looking at those photos going, there's something kind of surreal about the image itself. Talk me through the process.
The photos are taken by drone, and the real photos, they're not renders, but there's a lot of digital processing and editing that is involved, and try to make it as grand and exciting, as awe-inspiring as I can make it.
Chris, we have a beautiful view up here. I could stand up here all day, but I understand downstairs you have some images, you have a gallery. Can we go have a look at that?
Of course, let's go.
So Chris, here we are in the beautiful lobby level of the Guardian building. Look at this ceiling. I mean, this is like something, you just don't see things like this.
Spectacular, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really love to think of how these buildings actually reflect the culture of the time, and the buildings are so reminiscent of that excitement and energy. Yeah, I think it's fascinating to see the new with the old, and oftentimes with the background of these images, the backgrounds are composited in, so I have a lot of freedom where I could have made this look to Lower Manhattan, to see the Empire State Building.
These are works of art. These are antique works of art. These are gifts to the future from American architectural past.
Their book Highrises is an unbelievable collection of Americana, a true labor of love from 2 guys who really know their stuff.
Listen guys, this is a stunning achievement. Thank you for being with us today on Undiscovered America, and best of luck with your book in the future. And thanks for preserving and for documenting these really huge pieces of art that are distinctly American.
Thank you. We're delighted to be here.